Are we really doing this again? Hey everyone, how's it going? So I've decided to start doing sequels to some of the Pokemon I really enjoyed. Well, we can put that in big air quotes, enjoyed. Running a few years back, and one of the ones you guys seemed to like a lot was Shuckle. I actually genuinely love Shuckle in competitive Pokemon. It's not particularly good, but it serves a really interesting niche. In single-player solo runs, however, it's bad. It's really bad. I mean, yes, it's got some gargantuan defenses, but it has no attack or speed or HP. And that's bad. But worse yet, it's got a horrible move pool. In Gen 2, remember, we used Rollout, which was a TM. This time, Rollout isn't a TM, and that makes it a little more annoying. Another thing, though, that I'm just going to talk about right off the bat because I don't think you guys understand how long this took me. The first gym leader in this game is not a flying-type gym leader. It's Roxanne, a rock-type gym leader. And Shuckle, although it is rock-type itself, is also bug-type. But you know what? No. Before we even get to Roxanne, let's talk about just how annoying it is to use Shuckle. So Shuckle only has two moves that deal damage at this point of the game. Constrict, one of the lowest damaging moves in the entire game, and Wrap. Now, Wrap, if it were modern day Wrap, I think as of Gen 6, where it deals 1/8 every single turn it hits, would be really useful. But we're not in Gen 6, 7, or 8, we're in Gen 3. So Wrap deals 1/16, rounded down. So if we deal with Pokemon with less than 32 HP, then Wrap is only dealing 1 extra damage per turn. And it doesn't last all that long. And unlike Gen 1, of course, Pokemon can attack. The reason I'm talking about this is I don't think you guys understand, and I don't always talk about this aspect, how long it takes me to just do anything in this game. Getting to Roxanne took me an hour. I don't think I lost a single time. It just takes so long. You just slowly whittle health away. And another thing is that Effect Spore, which can affect me, I'm a Shuckle, if I get poisoned, the run's dead. Like, well, I mean, I can just reset, but you know what I mean? The battle is over. This is what you have to deal with when running Shuckle. I have done a lot of these, and I cannot describe to you, at least in the early game, a more frustratingly annoying experience. But I've built up the early game enough. Now let's talk about Roxanne. So Roxanne in Emerald, and I picked Emerald because it is a harder game, she's got 3 Pokemon, 2 Geodude, and 1 Nosepass. All of her Pokemon know Rock Tomb. However, there is a way I can avoid it using Rock Tomb if I'm lucky. So one thing you need to understand is that if you have really good IVs, the individual values between 0 and 31 for Shuckle, which I did, Shuckle can potentially outspeed the first Geodude. Now, the hope is that Geodude goes for Defense Curl. It might not. I learned later why in an earlier run where I actually lost the footage, don't worry, it didn't get past Roxanne, I was getting a lot of Defense Curl, while in this run, I'm getting a lot of Rock Tomb. There's a reason for this, but what you want, and we're just going to speed ahead till it happens. You know what? I'm watching this footage back. No, we're not. We're going to just cut ahead. This took a really long time. After, and I'm not exaggerating, 5 actual real-time minutes of resetting, I go for Wrap turn 1 and I get Defense Curl. Now we use Encore. Encore will force Geodude to keep using Defense Curl, but it can last anywhere between 2 to 6 turns. Wrap also lasts anywhere between 2 and actually 5 turns. So the hope is that we get the maximum for each of them, dealing as much damage as possible. And I'm sorry the footage is going by really fast. This takes a really long time because Roxanne has multiple potions as well as an Oran Berry. Typically, well, actually always, she will use the first potion on her first Geodude, and then she will use the second potion on Nosepass, which also has Oran Berry. And because we have no real way of dealing a lot of damage, this will always occur, making these battles take like 3.5 minutes. And don't forget, as always, I'm speeding the game up. In Gen 3, it only speeds up to 3 times, but could you imagine doing this at normal 1-time speed? After 2 minutes of battle, Nose Pass comes out and outspeeds us, which is fine. Nose Pass, for whatever reason, doesn't seem to like to go for Rock Tomb that much. And that's good for me because we don't want it to go for Rock Tomb. However, now it's going to go for Rock Tomb because of something that, thankfully, the speedrunning community in Pokemon helped me out, but it would take me a while to find this piece of information. It seems like unless it will knock you out, Nose Pass will only use Rock Tomb if you outspeed. And unfortunately, Constrict has a 10% chance of lowering speed. Now, I did not realize this is what was happening, but because of this, Nose Pass will start to use Rock Tomb, and Rock Tomb is doing quite a bit of damage. Do you want to know the best part? Because of the way damage rounding works in Generation 3, it will always deal between 6 and 8 damage. So no matter how much I level up, Shuckle will always take between 6 and 8 damage of Rock Tomb. This is devastating because it makes leveling up fairly useless. Constrict and Wrap are still going to do pretty much the exact same amount of damage, and you're not even, aside from gaining a little bit of HP sometimes, you're not even going to take less damage from Rock Tomb. So this battle is simply about everything working correctly. And at this point, the battle you saw, I didn't even know what was going on and why Rock Tomb was being used. But even when you get past Nose Pass, get this, there is still a lot that can go wrong. And of course, now we're back to 5 more minutes of resetting for the first Geodude to use Defense Curl. Once you get past Nose Pass, there's still a second Geodude. But here's the thing. If your Wraps miss, which they can do, or they don't last long enough, or the Geodude doesn't use Defense Curl, you just lose. That's right. You can just lose. It doesn't even matter. So the following are things that need to happen. We need first turn Defense Curl from Geodude. We use a Lepa Berry, so we get 5 more Encores. We can't use Oran Berry, not that it would help that much. We then cannot have Constrict lower Nose Pass's speed, but we still need to use it to damage the Nose Pass. And then finally, we need the second Geodude after all that to either miss with Rock Tomb or, more importantly, go for Defense Curl, and then hope we have enough Encores, Wraps, and Constricts to actually knock it out. I want you to understand, it takes me about 25 minutes to get back to Geodude number 2. And this is the best part. I remember this battle super well, and I did this literally 100 times. There is hours and hours of footage that AJ didn't really have to sort through, because I do that. But thankfully I did, because there is so much footage of this one battle. But the problem is, I ran out of PowerPoints. Now, had I thought about this beforehand, I could have maybe used up all my withdraws. And then eventually I could have gone for Struggle, but that would mean I'd have to use up all my Encores. An Encore is needed to make sure Geodude doesn't attack me, so I'd have HP. By the way, these withdraws, not doing anything. Like we talked about, no matter what I do, 6 to 8 damage. That is it. So we got really close. We got really close. Some better luck with Wrap, and we would have won. Unfortunately, Wrap just ends immediately, and even though it misses twice with Rock Throw, if Wrap had lasted the max amount of turns, that would have been it. But it wasn't. And there's very little I can do. I would need to get all the way up to level 28 to get Bide, which wouldn't be that helpful here, because we wouldn't be able to survive 2 volleys of Rock Doom / Rock Throw. And also, like we talked about, battling any Pokemon from wild Pokemon to trainer Pokemon takes like forever. So you just have to keep doing this again and again and again and again and again. Guys, I want you to guess. how much time it's been between these two battles. You can see I'm at level 28. So eventually I'm like, okay, we go for bide. Let's do it. How long? If you guessed an hour, you're wrong. If you guessed 2 hours, you're wrong. If you guessed 3 hours, you're technically wrong. It was more like 2 hours, 40 minutes, but I'm going to say you're right. It took me 3 hours. And again, keep in mind, we're going at 3 times speed. It's just, this was probably, I think, the longest I have ever spent. I mean, maybe Feebas Ruby Sapphire when I had to find the 96 routes, that was longer. But in terms of just battling a gym leader, because that was more about EV training for later, in terms of battling a gym leader, again and again and again, this was the longest. Now, you might notice I have bide, and I'm not using it. That's because, I guess I should have showed it, but as I told you, you won't be able to rely on bide exclusively. You just won't have enough HP, and it might also not knock the Pokemon out. So what I do instead is I resort to my original strategy, which it works. We've seen it work. It just takes forever on the first Geodude. And then when we get to Nose Pass, then I can go for bide. We can also use Wrap, and like we've learned before, if we constrict and at lower speed, it will go for Rock Tomb eventually. And that makes Nose Pass a lot easier. Does it make it more consistent? Yes, it does. So finally we get to Geodude number 2, and now I just can spam bide. Now we don't have to worry about anything. We just spam bide. Thankfully it missed with the first Rock Throw, but it doesn't really matter. Of course, this Geodude is now not cooperating with me, but if it oh, actually, this could be bad. Wait a minute. Do I have enough? Yes! Okay. 1 HP. 1 HP. 3 hours and 20 minutes plus another hour and a half before. And I took a break for the day. That was Roxanne. That was just the first of 8 gyms. This is gonna be fun. Now I know what you're thinking. J-Rose, you're at level 28. At least the next gym's gonna be easy. You guys are funny. So here's the thing. We don't really have great moves for Brawly. We do have Rock Tomb, and that's good. Can miss, but it's 50 base power and it's a rock move. But it does way less than Bide does. But unfortunately, what Bide is doing isn't really enough. So what are we gonna do here? I try again, and the biggest problem is that I let Machop bulk up. If I use Rock Tomb first, it actually does some decent damage, but Machop will usually bulk up. And that means I have to kind of get Bide at the right times, and then I can knock it out. So the next thing comes out is Metatite. This Metatite is weird. It goes for bulk up a couple times, but typically what it's going to start doing is going for Focus Punch. Now there's a problem with Focus Punch and Shuckle. You see, I go for Encore here for, I don't know what reason I did that. I actually think I misclicked. But the problem is that Wrap and Rock Tomb both have a chance to miss, and Focus Punch is extremely powerful. Unfortunately for Focus Punch users, you need the opponent not to attack you. And normally that's not a problem, you just attack. But since we got rid of Constrict to teach Rock Tomb, since, well, I don't want to get rid of Encore just yet. Wrap is kind of good for chip damage, and am I not going to teach Rock Tomb? In this instance, though, it makes Brawly really, really tough, and after a few more failed attempts, I gave up. But unlike with Roxanne, giving up doesn't mean just leveling up infinitely. There's a lot of other game I can go do in the meantime, and then I can come back to Brawly. Oh, and just for the record, I did make it past the Metatite once, but the thing is, Makuhita proved to be really, really annoying because all I really have for it is Bide, and unfortunately it bulks up, it used Vital Throw, and I just decided it wasn't worth it. After battling every trainer I possibly could, I'm at level 32 and I battle May. May leads with Lombre, and you can see Rock Tomb is still not doing half, but then May swaps into Marsh Stomp. So I'm going to go for Bide. Mud Shot's going to lower my speed. Water Gun's good. And 3-turn Bide. Bide can be between 2 and 3 turns. Is pretty good. I then go for Wrap, and you can notice that because it's in Torrent range, by which I mean Marsh Stomp has less than a third of its health, its Water Gun is going to be powered up. So ideally, we knock it out before that happens, but a lot of luck would need to happen for me to be able to do that. In the second battle, Lombre growls and then retreats. We're still having to rely on Bide as our main damaging move. There really isn't anything else Shuckle can do. But unfortunately, Marsh Stomp goes for Bide, and that just deals a ton of damage to Shuckle. So I think this is going to be possible. We just are going to need a little bit of luck. And it's really annoying that all these early battles are so luck-based. But realistically... Oh, and this time Lombre didn't switch out. Realistically, what else can we really do? I mean, we're a Shuckle. So this time we're going to be at level 33. I don't know if that really makes a difference. And for whatever reason, Slugma comes out before. The problem with that is Slugma goes for Yawn. So I decide to Encore Yawn because here is my thought process. What I want is to wake up, knock it out with Rock Tomb, of course I miss, and then I won't be asleep for Marsh Stomp. I decide to try and chance it with Wrap and see if that will line up because Slugma is starting to attack me. I'm at 49 HP for Marsh Stomp. Not sure if that's enough, but it goes for Bide, which is super, super useful. I stay asleep, and then I Encore Bide. This is useful because I can hit with Wrap, and now I can Bide its Bide, and that means I'm going to do way more damage than I otherwise would. Not enough to knock it out, but after a critical hit Rock Tomb, I do. And yes, once again, I fully acknowledge luck needed, but we did win. And the Wrap strategy on Slugma worked well. You also can see I have a Zigzagoon. We'll talk about that later. I have a bit of a strategy with that Zigzagoon coming up. But for now, we have a lot more trainers we can battle, and we could battle Wally, we can battle Watson, we can go back to Brawly. There's lots of stuff we can do. So which one will we do? If you guessed Watson, you'd be wrong. Very wrong, and I'm ashamed of you. But if you guessed Brawly, well, you'd be right. And you see, after we get to Marble City, we get the HM for Rock Smash, which helps a lot, because Rock Smash is a move with 100% accuracy, and it lowers defense 50% of the time. This is pretty useful because, I mean, sure, this Meditite's going to be annoying as heck with Reflect and Bulk Up, but once Reflect goes down, it's actually lost a ton of defense, and because its only attacking move happens to be Focus Punch, we don't really have to worry too much about it attacking us. I get greedy and go for a Rock Tomb to knock it out, and now Makuhita's out. I'm going to go for Encore on Bulk Up, and then I'm just going to go for Rock Smash, trying to get the defense drops and trying to get some critical hits. Unfortunately, it was probably a bad idea, and then the Citrus Berry activated, and now it's going to do a lot of damage to me, so I'm going to go for Bide, and actually this could work. Oh, so close. If we just had, instead of a 2-turn Bide, a 3-turn Bide, we actually would have won. Unfortunately, strategy ended up being okay, but 50-50 chance, and we didn't get it. So even at almost level 40, winning is not guaranteed against Pokemon half our level. Fantastic. Now, in the winning battle, and we're just going to speed through, because there's not much to say about either Machop or Meditite that we haven't already seen before. By the time we get to Makuhita, I'm at 52 HP. I'm not going to Encore. I'm going to go for Rock Tomb, try to slow it down. It's really bulking up a lot, so I just go for Bide. Vital Throw's doing 7. Unfortunately, once again, I get the very annoying 2-turn, but the second time it goes for Bulk Up. I get another 2-turn, which only has 1 Vital Throw. This time I need a 2-turn Bide, because if I get a 3-turn, I won't have enough HP unless I get very, very lucky. Thankfully, it works out, And with only 8 HP remaining, we win another battle. This may be a recurring theme if we have to use Bide, but it's kind of cool that both gym leaders so far have used pretty different strategies considering how limited our moveset is. Now, the third gym leader is Watson, and there's really no other major trainer we can battle other than Watson because we need to beat Watson to use Rock Smash to access the rest of the game. After beating the final few trainers, I'm at level 39, and I'm just going to go for Rock Tomb. Unfortunately, the thing that's going to happen, and I expected this, is getting paralyzed. So I could theoretically use a Cherry Berry here. I might end up doing that. You know what? Let's go and do it. Maybe we need an Oran Berry for some HP, but Cherry Berry could be useful. Anywho, Spark, we're paralyzed right away. That's not what we want to see. We want it to last a little bit longer. I go for Rock Smash, and then it goes for Self-Destruct. That's fine. 68 HP for Electrike. Electrike goes for Howl. Rock Tomb is doing about half, which is great. We knock it out. 2 down. Magneton now comes out, and thankfully Rock Smash is super effective. Shockwave isn't concerning because it can't paralyze, but Supersonic is pretty concerning. Thankfully, it only has gone for it once, and it is missed. Unfortunately, however, we put it within healing range. Thankfully, the defense drops are stacking up, and so it should be only 2 more Rock Smashes. Unfortunately, Supersonic does hit. This isn't good, but what I didn't realize is he would use a second Super Potion on Magneton, but then the scariest move of all, Sonic Boom. That does a ton of damage to me. I do level up, but I only have 25 HP from Electric. It goes for Howl, I go for Rock Tomb. It's going to be a 4-hit KO. It goes for Howl, I go for Rock Smash. I get the defense drop. Shockwave only does 7, I miss. Howl again, that's not a big deal. You might think only 1 more Rock Tomb, but no. Citrus Berry heals 30 HP, so it's going to be at least 2 more. Thunder Wave paralyzes me. Shockwave, I miss. Shockwave, I hit, and on 2 HP while paralyzed. It was a second try victory. That is a massive, massive improvement, considering I had to come back to both those gym leaders in Roxanne's case several times. Not bad, only 2 minutes spent on Watson. And the next gym leader could be similarly easy. We're at a super high level, and Rock Tomb is super effective against a lot of Flannery's Pokemon. However, they are bulky, and there's some other annoying stuff they can do. Before Flannery, though, there is the fight with Maxie, and this fight can go really badly sometimes. I don't always talk about this battle, but in a run as hard as Shuckle, definitely we're going to talk about it. And this is the big issue, Sand Attack. Rock Tomb already misses 20% of the time, and with 2 Sand Attacks, it's basically unusable. Case in... oh, well, it hit. But now we have to hit against Zubat, which we don't, and now we're confused, and our accuracy is super low, and there's a real chance that we actually don't hit in 5 or 6 more turns. It looks like it's going to be close. We do hit, and unfortunately, just survives. The next Rock Tomb will knock it out. The crit didn't matter, but now we got Camera Up, which is pretty good. We miss Magnitude. I go for Bide, which in modern Pokemon cannot miss, but in Generation 3, it 100% can. And then the worst thing happens, we get burned. That is just not something we can have happen, and so it looks like Maxie is going to be a loss. Unfortunately, it actually did take me a really long time to beat Maxie, and the biggest reason was accuracy luck due to Mightyena. White Herb wouldn't help us here because of the Intimidate, and it just simply was a matter of getting Sand Attack not to hit that many times and to hit through the Sand Attacks. The video is getting long, so while I showed the battle, I didn't offer a full play-by-play. Trust me, there are plenty other really tough battles ahead that we have lots to say about, I think. And let's move on to some of them. So we only have 3 gym badges. Let's go and get the 4th gym badge. We already talked about it a little bit. How is Flannery going to be? So in Emerald version, again, Emerald is pretty much harder than Ruby and Sapphire in most ways. She leads with Numel. Now, we miss with our first Rock Tomb. It goes for Overheat after a sunny day, and you can see that does next to nothing. So we don't really have to worry too much. Oh, I thought that'd knock it out. We don't have to worry too much about her attacks. bigger problem is if somehow I get burned. This Numel, I do not believe can do that, but other Pokemon have that ability. Slugma is a 1-hit KO, and then the next Pokemon, Camerupt, unfortunately, we do not have a super effective attack. I go for Bide, and all we get is a Tackle. Then we get Overheat, which really sucks because, oh, it's still doing 10. Maybe I could have gone for Overheat. I have the Oran Berry equipped because why the heck not? And you can see that just like with Roxanne, there is kind of a minimum damage Overheat will do. And oh no, Attract. That's going to be really annoying. So something I forgot is that you really want a female Pokemon in a solo run. See, there are a lot of Attract using Pokemon and the vast majority of them happen to be female. So if your Shuckle is female, that's not a strategy that can be used. But of course, I just reset until I get a Shuckle with good stats. I'm not really paying too much attention to its gender since that makes, well, in most contexts, it makes no difference. But going forward, it is something to think about that if I got lucky and the same Shuckle happened to be female, this would be a lot less annoying. And unfortunately, this is not the only battle in which Attract can be really, really frustrating. For those who don't know how Attract works, it is a 50-50 chance I attack. It's like being confused, but it's permanent and you don't hurt yourself. Finally, I knock out Camerupt. I level up to 47, but here we have Torkoal. I have already run out of Rock Tomb, so I have to rely on Bide, and Overheat did so much damage that even though I do get the lucky Bide, it's not enough to knock out Torkoal, but it is enough to knock me out. Knocked out by 100 paper cuts, or something to that effect. But knocked out nonetheless. As it would turn out, this wasn't a one-off either. You see, Torkoal, in addition to Camerupt, can use Attract. And while I did try to use Bide, it isn't going to work super well if it gets interrupted by Attract. So I have to use Rock Tomb. But how much is Rock Tomb even going to do? Look how many turns it's been, and finally Rock Tomb does, I don't know, about 20%? That's not enough. Okay, it looks like 25%, but that's also not enough. If Flannery has potions remaining, which sometimes she does, sometimes she doesn't, depends on ranges, that could be really bad. Additionally, while she did go for Body Slam a lot, Overheat, even at minimum special attack, is a better move. And so we've gotten Torkoal to half HP, but it doesn't look like we're very close to victory. But hold on a minute. In my very next battle, I make it back to Torkoal, and this time it didn't go for Attract right away, and I get a crit. But unfortunately, I get the miss, then I get hit by Attract, and unfortunately further, I am out of Rock Tombs. Now, certainly, with all this HP, I'm not going to lose. Certainly, I can still pull this one out. But, wouldn't you know, I don't. We lose again. Yep. Now, truth be told, there was a mistake I was making. I forgot to heal my power points heading into the battle, and I can even equip a Lepa Berry to give me more Rock Tombs, since we probably would have won that last battle if we had them. It's really annoying, though, because it takes so long. That's why I don't show you the first 3 Pokemon, is that Camerupt takes forever. It always uses Attract, and then it just takes forever to knock it out. Unfortunately, this seems to be the theme of the run with Shuckle. Battles just seem to take a really, really, really long time. So as I show you this battle with Flannery, I want to answer a question you might have. You see, there is another move I could potentially use on Shuckle that's way better than Rock Tomb. That move is Rollout, the move that helped me destroy Johto. But Rollout in this game isn't a TM, it's a move tutor move. And truth be told, I actually forgot it was tutorable in Mauville. But even if I'd known that at the time, and I did figure it out, I don't want to use it here. And the reason is simple. With Attract, having a move like Bide or Rollout where you're locked into it is really bad. But even without Attract, being locked into Rollout in a much better AI'd game like Gen 3 is just really dangerous. There may come a point where we need to use Rollout, but at this point in the game, it feels like Rock Tomb is the way to go. We have been mixing up our moves a lot, and there's something else we're gonna do that might make things even easier, at least against wild Pokemon, which you won't see, but it is something I have in the back of my head. Finally, after like 25 years... Oh, no, Hyper Potion. All right, AJ, can you just fast forward this? Do we win this? Okay, do we? Yeah, we win. Hooray. Go me. Okay, so we won. Rock Tomb does, like we said, 25%. Rock Tomb gets a crit. That's really good. Body Slam paralyzes me. Of course it does. And we hit with Rock Tomb. Thankfully, Flannery had no potions left for Torkoal. And while against Torkoal, having both Rock Tomb and Rollout would help, once we teach Rollout, we need to have it for the rest of the run. And I envision our move slots needing to be very flexible. So I want to use that at the last moment possible because the champion's a water type trainer. So we might have to resort to cheeky rollout strats, but let's just hold off a second. The champion, we just made it halfway through the run, half an hour in. We're not even close. We're light years away, as Generation 1 would say. But on that note, let's get just a little bit closer and battle Norman. There's really nothing to do. I don't know why in this game they don't just warp you back like an Oris, but yeah, we have to head back to Petalburg City, and Norman sometimes can be really tough. I actually think he could be really easy, but we'll see. Norman leads with Spinda, and of course we lead with Shuckle. Spinda has Psybeam, which doesn't do very much damage, and we have Rock Smash, which is both super effective and lowers defense. In conjunction with Rock Tomb, it could be really good. Unfortunately, we're hitting ourselves in confusion for like 10 years, but then we get a crit, and at 79 HP, now 81 after the level up, we have knocked out the Spinda. Now we have Vigoroth, and this is where I really like Rock Smash. It conserves my Rock Tomb power points, and just because it's going to take a million hits anyway, it stacks, and now look how much Rock Tomb's going to do. We're going to get a potion, which is perfect. Vigoroth isn't nearly as scary as Slacking, and once again, we get the stats lowered, Rock Tomb, and that would have been perfect if we knocked it out right there. Come on. All right, well, we use Rock Smash. I kind of want a bunch for Slacking. Here is Slacking. Whoa, okay, I wasn't expecting that. So Slacking, I'm going to try just using Rock Tomb. Ooh, that did a lot of damage. Oh no, that's really awful. Why did it do that? Okay, well now I'm asleep. It went for Yawn again. Okay, that's kind of good, but this could be like Attract all over again. Oh, it is going to be like Attract all over again. Wonderful, and then we miss with consecutive Rock Tombs. Okay, well this is really fun. This is great. Riveting gameplay. Okay, it's going to heal, isn't it? It's going to heal. Yep, and of course, Hyper Potions. And actually, I think we lose this. I'm just looking here. Do we have... Oh! Whoa, I forgot I had counter. Okay. That did not go how I expected it to go. Now, I could theoretically teach Toxic right here, and I don't really think I need Bide. Toxic would be incredible versus any of these Pokemon, because first of all, you get Toxic in Fiery Path, and you need Strength, so you can't use it until after you beat Flannery. It would have been super, super useful to use against Torkoal. But because these battles take so darn long, Toxic stacks up, and none of the trainers have full restores or anything like that. Unfortunately, we've been encored into Toxic, which is annoying, but so long as it stops encoring me, or we hit ourselves in confusion, which is good, we should have more than enough Toxics left. And here we got Hyper Potion against Spinda. That's one less Hyper Potion for Norman's actually good Pokemon. Unfortunately, Spinda just keeps going for Encore. It is knocked out, but I actually don't mind because I would use Toxic here anyway. And I don't believe Vigoroth has Encore. Hopefully it doesn't, because if we run out of Toxics, I'm going to be so sad. Feint Attack, Toxic, and all right. Did we run out? Oh, we did. But Lepa Berry. No, it also has Encore. Why does everything have Encore? Okay. All right. Well, this is the one I actually want to use it for, so I don't care. And I don't believe Slacking actually has any Encore. So we're good. We're good. Facade is a little scary, but we're Shuckle, so it's fine. And I think there's going to be a Hyper Potion coming. Oh, great. Yawn. Exactly what I want to see. Oh. Okay. If we use Toxic here, we're good. I think... Oh, come on! All right, well, not a big deal. Oh, maybe big deal. Potentially very big deal. Potentially massive deal. The biggest deal of all... Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. No, very big deal. Very big deal. Ah, come on. Boo! We should have had this one. That was garbage. All right. You know what game you want to play like that? All right, I'm going to accelerate another strategy I was planning. So, yeah, we have Teeter Dance. I should just go for Toxic, but you know what? I don't want to get Encored. That would suck. So instead, we're going to use Rock Tomb, and then we're going to use Toxic. Because now we outspeed, now I can use Dig, and that means Toxic will rack up. Ideally, we don't get confused, but also ideally, it uses a Hyper Potion, which is really good. And now we can use Dig to avoid getting hit while Toxic racks up. This is an idea I had. Toxic plus Dig, just maximize Toxic turns and get the heck out of this fight. We should win really easily. Once again, I'm not interested in getting Encored. This game really annoyed me, so you know what? 2 can play this game. I mean, technically only 1 can play. You know what I meant? Anyway, we knock out Vigoroth, and now here comes Slacking. And Slacking, okay, so if we time Dig appropriately, Slacking would never hit us. And I think I did it, yeah. Because now we will always be using Dig on the turns Slacking can hit us. So that means we're just perpetually avoiding Slacking's attacks. Yay, Truant. Unfortunately, Slacking can counter that by using Yawn. And now we have the exact same problem as we did the time before, where we're asleep, and here's not Belly Drum. Okay. 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 Here's Belly Drum. Hey, we woke up. All right, please hit. That's fine. Of course we flinch. All right, no flinch. Of course a miss. Of course a crit. Finally! Oh my! That was some atrocious luck versus Lanoon twice. But we got it. We got it. We're 5 gym badges. The next gym leader is flying type, which shouldn't be too bad. Tate and Lies are going to be atrocious. And then water type. So we have one last gym leader that shouldn't be too bad before the game just kicks it into high gear. All right, so there's a ton of trainers to battle. So by the time I battle Winona, I'm at level 58. Swablu is actually deceptively bad, but not right now. It didn't do anything. So I do have Hidden Power, and wouldn't you know, it happens to be Hidden Power Ice. It's not very strong though, so Rock Tomb is way better, but it is a 100% accurate move, so that's kind of nice. Pelipper is going to be a 3-hit KO at this level, so I'm going to throw in a Hidden Power just because, again, it can't miss. Pelipper is super annoying with Supersonic and Protect, but eventually I do knock it out. There are 3 Pokemon left. Skarmory is next. Now, Skarmory likes to use Sand Attack, and I'm confused. So that's really bad. And it's already used 3 Sand Attacks. I'm just going to reset. But wait a minute. Remember how I said Swablu kind of sucks? Well, here's why Swablu kind of sucks. We're going to go for Hidden Power, and there's Perish Song. If Swablu uses Perish Song, since we can't switch Pokemon, we're done. Because we don't knock out Swablu in one hit, we just have to get a little bit lucky. We gotta hope that it doesn't use Perish Song. If only we one-shot it, it would be kind of nice, but what can you do? Pelipper is also really trolly. We're just going to speed through. And so Skarmory, what you really want to have happen is not a defense boost due to Steel Wing. You want no Sand Attack, and it just to attack you. We have Citrus Berry, so that's plus 30 HP, which is very useful. Probably even more useful than Citrus Berry would be today. And thankfully, we're able to knock it out with Hidden Power. Tropius is next, and Hidden Power is going to 2-shot it. And that brings... Oh, well, maybe it won't. Never mind. Looks like it won't 2-shot. And Rock Tomb is doing slightly less than Hidden Power. Unfortunately, due to Sand Attack, I'm just going to dig around that Solar Beam. We do miss. I'm going to use Toxic. That's going to help because we're running out... Oh, Sunny Day Solar Beam. Nice combo. But we are running out of moves. So I'm going to try to dig around Solar Beam again. And it does knock itself out due to poison. Altaria, I'm out of Hidden Power. Great. I go for Toxic. It misses. Dragon Breath is annoying. Finally, we poison it, but it's a little too late. We have 1 HP and we get knocked out. This was close, so I battle Winona again. And once again, it's just simply a matter of luck. Safeguard's the best thing you can get. Critical hit really, really is good. Although there is a negative there. If we get a critical hit on Swablu, it means there's 1 potion for either Pelipper or Tropius or something we don't want to see. So that's really annoying. Ideally, we'd level up a little bit more so Rock Tomb would knock out Pelipper in 2 hits, but it's not a big deal. Skarmory, unfortunately, sand attacks. Hidden Power actually still does a little less than Rock Tomb, but it misses. We this time poison Tropius right away. That was the big mistake last time. If we poison Pokemon early, potentially we get some really, really good ranges. Unfortunately, the unclutchest of misses. We're at 37 HP and we miss Toxic. Dragon Dance is bad. We miss Toxic again. Aerial Ace, we hit with Toxic. Dragon Dance, I go for Hidden Power. It is double super effective. And thankfully, due to the Toxic, even after Oranberry, Winona, who would have healed, cannot do so. We get the win. Toxic proving invaluable once again. This time, Hidden Power Ice being Hidden Power Nice. But truth be told, we could have just leveled up and used Rock Tomb. But I'm happy I got to show off yet another move. Hidden Power is actually kind of complicated in these solo runs because there's no way to know before you get Hidden Power what its base power is going to be and what its type, more importantly, is going to be. So you just kind of got to use whatever you have. It's something that if we were doing a tier list, I'd have to think a little bit more about because I do like the runs to be repeatable, but it is what it is. Anyway, there are 2 major battles remaining. Taydenlyza and, of course, the Water-type gym leader, Juan. I would say for a solo run, Taydenlyza are the toughest gym leaders. The reason being, essentially, it's a 2-on-1. So we're at level 65, and you can see we have Protect, Toxic. Psychic immediately knocks out my Zigzagoon, and I can Toxic Xatu, but there's a problem. Xatu has Synchronize. And that means if we Toxic Xatu, well, we'll get Toxiced right back. So we can't have that. So instead what we're going to do is Toxic the Claydol. And once again, Psychic Earthquake doesn't deal that much damage to me. So Claydol is poisoned. But now I've got a Rock Tomb Xatu. It's also powering up, and this is another issue. Psychic has a chance to lower my special defense. So that's annoying. It's still not doing very much, and we get a very clutch critical hit to knock out Xatu. Next comes out Lunatone. So here's where Toxic and our new move, Protect, that we get from the Lily Cove Pokemart is really going to help us. We have a Citrus Berry, and we can use Protect, and now they're going to go for Psychic. Claydol won't get knocked out, but there's good news here. Claydol's going to use a Hyper Potion, meaning I can go for Dig, and that means I can save a Protect and avoid 2 Psychics. Dig doesn't do any damage. That's a little annoying. Now Claydol is going to heal once again. I go for Protect on the Psychic, and Claydol and Lunatone are probably just 1 or 2 turns away from being knocked out. I'm going to accelerate that with a Rock Tomb, so I thought. Unfortunately, Rock Tomb doesn't connect. Now Soul Rock comes out. Hyper Potion on Lunatone is okay. Soul Rock goes for Sunny Day. And now I can go for either Dig or Protect. I'm going to go for Protect. It tries to go for Flamethrower, it tries to go for Psychic. Unfortunately, though, the Lunatone will survive. I need to double up on Protect, but although I get it, there was a heal once again, and I didn't expect that. I can't get a triple Protect, and after double Psychics, I am knocked out. And this was the closest I would come to beating Taydenlyza. Why? Well, recall what happened with Xatu. Let me just show you this battle, and you'll see what happened, and why that just really isn't something I can expect. You see, ordinarily, and yes, we got a special defense drop, and that's pretty bad, but odds are we are going to get one eventually. See, Xatu is going to be a 3-hit KO, and that's actually pretty problematic, because that delays Lunatone, which delays Toxic, which makes things less favorable. You'll just have to see what I mean by that. But essentially, the way the battle typically goes, we're at such low HP by the time we get to Lunatone and Soul Rock, even without bad luck, we stand no chance. And normally, this would just result in me leveling up a ton. Well, I leveled up by 10, and that's going to change things to make this battle a lot more consistent. We're going to Toxic just like last time. We need Toxic to hit. This is, by the way, my first battle at level 75. But here's the big difference and why it needed to be level 75. We even get an unlucky miss and an unlucky crit, but it's going to be a 2 KO on Xatu, and that is absolutely huge. Unfortunately, Xatu confuses us, which could be very problematic. Now Lunatone comes out. We're going to have to Toxic it. Psychic Calm Mind is, it's not great, but we get the Toxic. That is really good. Claydol is now going to heal. And so when the Claydol heals, that's when I can't waste a Protect. We want to protect against 2 Psychics, not just 1. And Rock Tomb, now that I'm at a higher level, is pretty useful. You can see I'm using the Citrus Berry. I get the 2 Psychic Protects, and now Claydol is likely going to heal again. That means I can use Rock Tomb on Lunatone, and I get a crit knocking it out. That's really good and may have secured the victory, because I think they're out of potions, although missing that Toxic is brutal, but Claydol faints, and now I can alternate between Rock Tomb and Protect. As long as I don't get burned by Flamethrower, we should be fine. In fact, I can just go for Rock Tomb, and it shouldn't matter. Citrus Berry, 1 more Rock Tomb should do it after toxic damage, and there we go. Shuckle has defeated Tate and Liza at level 75. Not bad at all, but there's still one extremely tough gym leader remaining. Juan, like Wallace, is water type. That's not good. And we're only at level 76. We really haven't been able to battle many trainers. And now we're both confused and hit with Attract. And that's not good. We need to hit Toxic before that happens. Let's try this again. So we got Love Disc. We want to hit with Toxic immediately, and we get it. Perfect. Now Attract doesn't really matter. Confusion doesn't really matter. It's not dealing too much damage to us. Obviously, the quicker we knock it out, the better. Of course, we have to miss with Rock Tomb when we actually don't hit ourselves in Confusion, and we're confused again. Great. Just perfect. Eventually, though, the Confusion will wear off, and Attract doesn't persist. So we've made it past Love Disc with 113 HP. Now Celio is, oh god. Well, it confused us due to Water Pulse, and we're not quite doing half, which is bad. But we do have a super effective attack, which is good. Unfortunately, we get down to 59 HP. With Citrus, it's up to 89. But with 3 Pokemon remaining, this could be kind of rough. Especially with Crabhammer. Even though Crawdaunt doesn't have the best special attack, Crabhammer does have an increased critical hit ratio. I can go for Protect a little bit. I can go for Dig a little bit and have that Toxic slowly rack up. And we do knock out Crawdaunt, but that just gives us Kingdra, who knocks us out with Water Pulse. And we're not even close. I'm not even sure what to do. Except that's completely untrue. And you may have seen what I ended up doing. Only for a brief second there, when I opened my Pokemon menu, could you have seen my strategy. Something I've been working on this entire run, behind the scenes. I knew we'd run into a wall somewhere, and I knew we'd need just a little bit of extra help. And I knew there was something that could give Shuckle that boost. But in order to do it, I needed to spend longer than the time I battled 96 routes. Let me explain what we did. AJ, cue the flashback thingy. Before I even beat Brawly, I had caught some Zigzagoons, and the second I got to Mauville City, I deposited them in the daycare. The idea was, I need these Zigzagoons to be at a higher level, and because of my rule set, I can't use these in battle. After I defeated Winona, I was able to fly back to Mauville and find that my Zigzagoon gained about 20 levels. That's actually a little annoying because there are Linoone and Zigzagoon available just east of Mauville. I thought having lower level Zigzagoon in the daycare longer would make more sense, but unfortunately it probably didn't make a massive difference. But what's going on? What is with these Zigzagoon? Well, let me introduce to you an ability that is super useful. We've used it before, Pickup. In Ruby and Sapphire, Pickup was really simple. Here's a table. Every time a battle completes, there is a 10% chance a Pokemon with pickup will get one of the items listed. And of course, you can see what chance you have of getting each of the items. There are potions, Ultra Balls, nuggets, and even a 10% chance of rare candy, which made pickup really, really good in Ruby and Sapphire. However, in Emerald and going forward, this was completely changed. Starting in Emerald, what items your Pokemon could pick up depended on its level. And we want a very specific item. If you look at the chart, think about what item that might be. If you guessed Leftovers, you're right. Leftovers would be super good on Shuckle. But to get Leftovers, I need a Pokemon with pickup at level 81. And there aren't any level 81 Zigzagoon you can catch. So, I mean, what? I just used a cheating device, right? Just modify the level. Certainly I didn't bike back and forth for hours trying to slowly, via the daycare, level up these Zigzagoon until they were level 81. That is simply preposterous. Because even if I did that, it's still just a 1% chance 10% of the time for each Zigzagoon, which is roughly about 19% of the time. I mean, come on, there's no way that's exactly what I did. That's what I did. I did that thing. It was really long and really, really tedious. And you want to know how much in-game time this took? Do you want to know how long this would take if I didn't use any kind of speed up? 13 hours! 13! And wait, do you know what the best part is? We don't have Leftovers yet. Now we just have the Zigzagoon that are potentially capable of getting Leftovers. We still have to get Leftovers, which I actually didn't do yet, because after I'd done this whole thing, I'm like, oh god, I have a 1% on a 10% chance? Oh my god, how long is this gonna take? A long time. A long, long, long time. So what I do is I simply go on the acro bike and bounce. You hold B, and then you press A. And you do it again, and again, and again, and again, and again on Route 101, because it doesn't matter. We don't need experience points. EVs are already maxed, so it doesn't matter. It just takes forever. How long? How long will it take? Oh, not too long. Just another 13 in-game hours. Again, we are using speed up, so it's not that bad. So that's 26 total hours of in-game time. Thankfully, due to the ways I have figured out how to use speed up better, I was able to cut that time down to 3.5 hours, which is still bad. It's still a long time, but it's not 26 hours. And that's how long it would take if I wanted to play the game on cartridge on an official console. Thank goodness there are different ways I have now to play on cartridge that still allow me to speed up the game a lot. Even beyond the 3 or 4 times that you guys typically see in the videos. I find that's a good sweet spot where it's fast enough for these runs to go quicker so I can make more of them, but slow enough that I can actually kind of control my character. But yeah. Alright, so now we have Leftovers. Hooray! Are we going to be able to beat Juan today? Well, we don't have to give such a detailed play-by-play because even with Leftovers, our strategy does not change substantially from what you've seen before. All it does is that it basically restores all the damage Juan's Pokemon, or at least his weaker Pokemon, do to us. And with the combination of Dig and Protect, the idea is that nothing should be able to stand in our way. But there's a lot more video left, so clearly a lot of things do stand in our way. One of them is Juan, and that might surprise you. And we need to fast forward a little bit more into the battle, past Celio, past Crawdaunt. Yeah, I mean, I beat Crawdaunt eventually, it just takes a little while. And then the real issue is Kingdra. Kingdra is a problem because Kingdra likes to use Double Team. And in of itself, that would be fine if it didn't pair that with Rest. So I really have no effective way of damaging this Kingdra. It just restores its HP and cures the poison, and eventually I just end up running out of power points. In addition, it's a fairly decent water Pokemon, and even at level 78, it's dealing quite a lot of damage to me. And eventually, I don't have enough power points left, and I just reset. I was thinking about the battle, and I battled Juan again, and I was trying to figure out what mistake I made and what I could do better. And the funny thing is, the only mistake I really made was resetting there. Because, and we don't need to show the early parts of the battle again, let me show you how you can beat Kingdra. Now, I do one different thing that's going to help me immensely in this battle. I tried it with Rock Tomb, first of all. I realized that trying to hit with Rock Tomb while Kingdra is still not completely maxed out in evasion is a smart thing to do. But in addition to Rock Tomb, you might notice a different attack I have. And it's one that is going to damage Kingdra whether it has evasion or not. I don't need to use it yet, and we can just fast forward ahead. That move is, of course, Sandstorm. So the idea is to Sandstorm and Toxic Kingdra. But honestly, what I started to realize is that none of this mattered. None of the moves I had mattered, because Kingdra's just going to avoid everything. So what I end up doing, and sorry we have to really speed through this, and oh my god, this battle took a really long time, but I think you can see what's about to happen here. Kingdra runs out of power points for Rest, it runs out of power points for Water Pulse, and it eventually starts going for Ice Beam. But eventually we're both going to start using Struggle. And once that happens, or if I can Toxic it once it's run out of all 10 of its rests, which is actually what I end up doing, the Kingdra is going to faint, and I get absurdly lucky that I hit with Toxic at the perfect time. Now, it would have fainted either way, but it would have taken a really long time. Now, against Whiscash, because it used Double Team and not Smokescreen or an accuracy dropping move, I can just hit Whiscash with Struggle. And while the Whiscash does very decent damage to me, thanks to Leftovers, thanks to Struggle, and thanks to Shuckle's unbelievable defense, with 88 HP, 87 due to recoil, we have beaten Juan. The battle, by the way, took like 10 real-world minutes. Oh my gosh, was that battle annoying and was it tedious? But we have gone through all 8 gym leaders. We have no power points. We had to use Struggle, so another strategy. We've used all the strategies I have. And will that be enough for the Elite Four? I'm not going to talk about the Wally battle because it was easy and this has been a long video. There's no need to hype this up further. Let's talk about what I had to do versus Sydney and his extremely annoying Mightyena. We encountered this before with Maxie. Mightyena has Intimidate, so we can't use White Herb, and it also has Sand Attack. And that's going to make the rest of this battle a nightmare. Now, knocking on Mightyena, it's possible, and with Sandstorm, we will eventually probably knock out everything. But Toxic will make that a lot easier. But with 2 drops due to Sand Attack, the chance we hit Toxic on every Pokemon is low. Additionally, Sydney has, I believe, 2 full restores. And that means not only does he get the heal, but he also loses the poison. And I just reset here. Essentially, we're going to need really good Sand Attack luck if we're going to have any shot of doing this in not a million turns. Even if you get past Mightyena, by the way, and at full HP, it's not the end of the story, because since we got hit by, I think in this case, 4 Sand Attacks, we simply don't hit with anything, and Crawdon is able to basically knock us out. So it's not just getting past Mightyena, but getting past it and able to get past the rest of the Pokemon. Finally, we got a battle that wasn't too bad. We, of course, are going to hit with Sand Attacks, and I go for Rock Tomb, as always, when I'm going to get Sand Attacked, just to try to do as much damage before our Rock Tomb's accuracy is basically non-existent. The other thing I try to do is to, and I did here, time the Toxic and Sandstorm so it can't heal. But now we gotta deal with Crawdon, and it essentially is the same thing. You might notice we don't have Protect, but Protect is a TM. So if needed, we could reteach it. Unfortunately, because we needed to use Sandstorm, or I thought we did, versus Juan, and frankly, it's being very useful here, we had to overwrite Protect with another TM move that we can't get back. But Dig kinda does the trick. By digging underground, we do avoid Surf for a turn, and slowly but surely, assuming we hit with Toxic, which we do, the way the full restores work is they'll use 1 on the first 2 Pokemon, and then 1 on the last 3 Pokemon. Pretty sure that's how it works. So we're able to knock out Crawdaunt at half HP. Absol is pretty scary because it can use Swords Dance, and I'm pretty sure there still is a full restore in play. So Absol, it takes a really long time to knock it out, and I'm not sure if the full restore is in play or if we just avoided healing range there. I think we avoided healing range potentially. I don't know. It's close. I'm not really sure. Shiftry is really annoying because in addition to the sand attacks from Mightyena, Shiftry likes to use Double Team, and that makes it hard to hit with Toxic. And since that full restore is still left, then it can heal the Toxic, and that's really annoying. I need Toxics left for Cacturne because Cacturne has the Sand Veil ability, meaning not only will it get even more accuracy, but it can't get hurt by Sandstorm, which is the primary way I want to damage Pokemon. And it would work if not for Cacturne. Thankfully, we do get a Rock Tomb plus Sandstorm. Now here's Cacturne. I only have 2 Rock Tombs left. But another problem with Cacturne, as you're about to see, is that it has Leech Seed. And Leech Seed not only saps 1/8 of my HP, and gives that right to Cacturne, and just like any other status when it comes to Shuckle, even though we hit with Toxic, and we get really, really, really close with the Leech Seed, we do unfortunately just fail to knock it out. It hits me with Feint Attack, and we were that close to winning, but at least we now see a pathway to victory here. It took a few more attempts to beat Sydney, but eventually we do get the win. I'm just going to speed through it. Essentially, it's the same thing you've already seen. It's just getting better luck with when Toxic hits, when we get the Swagger boosted Rock Tomb. You can see that we've maxed out our power points on a lot of our moves, which is pretty good. And yeah, it's just trying to manage HP, not losing HP. Absol gets really close to knocking us out, but thankfully, Shiftry deals such little damage, we actually can start to restore HP, and you can see my HP start to climb up as I battle Shiftry. The final luck factor is whether we can get Toxic on Cacturne. We do get it really early. Unfortunately, the HP doesn't work out for us, and there is a full restore used, but I am able to hit with Rock Tomb, and because of all the swaggers used by the Shiftry, it does almost all of its HP. I do then hit with Toxic. I'm tormented, by the way, so I can't use a move twice, but we do win at level 80 against Sydney. These battles take a really, really long time, which is why it's hard to give play-by-play for them, but you get the overall strategy of stalling, hitting, and then trying to manage HP. Against, oh my god, against Phoebe. Phoebe's a lot like Agatha in that she's a little bit of a lottery, but since this is in the Impossible Challenge series and not the Solo Run series in Red and Blue, we can save. So let me explain why Phoebe is the worst and why I really don't want to have to do this again. Now I forgot, Dusclops always goes for Protect turn 1, and it's a 50-50 shot it goes for it turn 2, which is great. So that's great. Also keep in mind it has pressure, so every time we use a move that targets Dusclops, that means that we lose 2 power points instead of 1. But there is a bigger problem you're about to see. It's about to happen in a second. Don't want to spoil it. And there we go. Curse. If we get hit with Curse, it's over. There's nothing we can do. We simply cannot knock out Pokemon before Curse knocks us out. Losing a quarter of our HP is just no. There's no way to shake it off. So if it uses Curse, run dead. And that's really annoying because, I mean, it isn't a 1 in 4 shot. It seems to like to use Curse after it heals, so we want to knock this out as soon as possible. But wait! That's not the only annoying thing about this battle. No. Now, with a little bit of better luck, there is a way to make sure the first Dusclops doesn't get full restored. It really is the worst one to get full restored. Well, almost. But don't worry, we are going to knock it out this time. The second Dusclops is an offensive Dusclops. For our purposes, that's good, because an offensive Dusclops is just a bad Pokemon, and it doesn't have a full restore. We knock it out really quickly. But here's Banette. Banette, Shadow Ball crit, not a big deal. I mean, what is that? What can that do? You know what? I'll set up a Sandstorm. Things are great. We're gonna win. Nothing can stop me now. There we go. Something stopped me. Will-O-Wisp. In Generation 3 through, I believe, 6, Actually, I think it's 2, 3, and 6. I don't remember, but it does an 8th, not a 16th. In modern Pokemon, it deals a 16th, but with dealing an 8th, that means we lose 1/16 of our health, in addition to any of the health that Pokemon like Sableye. So I make a valiant effort of it, and we do lots of damage to Sableye, but there's a full restore, remember? And since I'm gradually losing health, a burn is, again, a reset. So this battle is actually pretty easy, much easier than Sydney, as long as we don't get the Will-O-Wisp from Banette, and as long as we don't get Curse from Dusclops. Now, I'm sure some of you are thinking, J-Rose, what about Rollout, what about Rest? So, the thing with both those moves is against Sydney, Rollout would have been a huge disadvantage. I mean, imagine we'd only get the first hit, and then we pretty much miss every time. Additionally, sometimes we want to use Rock Tomb, but other times we want to use Toxic. Being locked into a move for 5 turns is really bad. You might also wonder, what about Rest? And here the problem is, I think I want Sandstorm still. None of these moves are level up moves, meaning if I delete them, they're gone forever. No more Rock Tomb, no more Dig, and I don't know if I'm going to need them. So I'd rather try to get by with the moves I have, rather than delete a move that potentially could be super useful. And this has happened in many a solo run, where I'm like, if only I'd kept that move, but it's hard to foresee everything that's going to happen and all the interactions that can occur. So while I've been talking, we made it back to Banette, and Banette actually misses with Will-O-Wisp. I then go for Rock Tomb. I want to knock it out as quick as possible. Because we're so over leveled, Rock Tomb is actually doing pretty decently. And then I artfully dodge a Will-O-Wisp with Dig, and Toxic takes it out. And that's going to be the battle most likely. Sableye, though, does know Double Team, and that's really annoying. But more crucially, I forgot it knows Nightshade, which always deals 50 damage, which actually is a problem because I can't just leftover recover that. So I'm going to try to knock this out as quick as possible. We get really bad luck with Toxic and Sandstorm and my Rock Tombs. We're not able to avoid full restore, but thankfully we do hit with Toxic, so we should win. I am going to use Dig, try to avoid Nightshade, and we're pretty much at full HP. I'm going to use Sandstorm. Losing special defense isn't bad. Thank goodness it is a physical move in this generation. Oh no, a second full restore. I didn't realize it didn't use the first full restore on the first 2 Pokemon. That means it was available for Sableye, and there's Nightshade. Thankfully, we do hit with Toxic again pretty quickly, and hopefully that's going to be enough. We avoid a Nightshade with Dig. You can see how useful Dig is. It would be nice if it hit, but we put up Sandstorm again. It goes for Feint Attack, and now the math works for us. We have Banette. Don't forget, it's been using Double Team, not Sand Attack, and that means we're going to be able to hit Banette pretty easily. This Banette, like the second Dusclops, is an offensive Banette, and for us, that's perfect. We do get paralyzed, but that's okay. It took me a while, but we do defeat Phoebe. I wouldn't say easily. That was pretty annoying. I don't want to have to do that again, but it's done. Hooray. The next 2 Elite Four members are probably going to be a little bit easier, I think. Glacia's Ice type, and although the water Pokemon do suck, I don't like that there's so many water Pokemon. We are super effective. Celio always uses Hail turn 1. That allows me to set up a Toxic. I then set up Sandstorm. It misses with Ice Ball. I actually would have rather it hit, because then it sets up Hail. One thing I forgot, but I'll mention to you guys, Hail plus Blizzard isn't a thing till Gen 4. So we actually don't have to worry about Blizzard always hitting if Hail is up. It's just simply a matter of not wanting to lose HP. Or I guess stay neutral in HP, because Ice Ball does so little, so I would much rather restore all my HP and have more for the Wall Rain, the Glalie, etc. We did also get it to use its full restore. That's probably not going to happen very much, but that is useful for our purposes. So I use Dig, Wall Rain comes out, it goes for Surf and misses, I hit with Dig. Now we're going to go for Toxic. Surf does fairly good damage, 36. Surf, yeah, this is going to be a problem. Thankfully, we should lower its speed enough, and we might even be able to knock it out with Rock Tomb plus Toxic. Unfortunately, of course, we miss. The Citrus Berry activates. I'm going to go for Dig to get some more HP back, and hopefully it doesn't heal. It actually doesn't. That's great. This was the scariest Pokemon, and we have 68 HP. Now out comes Glalie. It goes for Ice Beam. It's going to be a 3-hit KO, but remember, there is potential... Oh, God. Well, I was going to say potentially a Hyper Potion here, but yeah, it could also freeze me. And there's a crit, but we Thaw. That's kind of nice. All right. Well, oh, there's a miss. Love Rock Tomb. Love Rock Tomb. All right, we've made it to Celio with 41 HP, excuse me. So I go for Rock Tomb. It's set up Hail. I'm going to go... I don't think this thing has Ice Ball. What does it have? Blizzard. Okay, like we talked about, though, that wouldn't be an auto hit anyway. But because I use Sandstorm, Celio will then automatically have to go for Hail, which is kind of nice. I'm going to go for Rock Tomb. Ah, there's Full Restore. Okay, so I go for Rock Tomb. It is now slower than me. So I have a couple options. I'm going to go for Sandstorm. Hope it misses. It didn't, and it critted. Of course it did. Why wouldn't it crit? Go for Rock Tomb, and I get a crit. That's kind of nice. One Pokemon remaining. It's Glalie. Glalie. And yeah, I'm not happy to see it. It goes for Hail. I go for Toxic. I don't think there's Full Restores left. And we're at 35 HP. I go for Dig. I'm going to try to avoid its attacks, avoid the Hail. Ice Beam misses. We have 20 HP remaining. No, 30 HP. And I'm going to go for Dig. No! No! No, we would have won! We would have won! We would have won! No! No, 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 no! Oh my gosh. Well, it actually took a few more battles to win. I'm surprised. I thought I would win on my next attempt. But guess what? When you're dealing with constant blizzards and ice beams, and Walrein can deal pretty good damage, you really do have to worry about being frozen. It is actually statistically probable you will get frozen. And when you get frozen, it can take forever to thaw. So that can be really bad, but yeah, Walrein's probably the biggest threat. This time we have 75 HP, and then we have to just get rid of Glalie. By the time we get rid of that, 83 HP. We have to get rid of Celio, and we're actually down to 77 HP. And then the second Glalie comes out, and honestly, the Full Restore hits, it isn't actually that close. There are moments where we're a little lower in health and it's a little scary, but we never dip below 56 against the Glalie, and we're able to win and make it to Drake. Drake, I don't anticipate being very difficult. One thing that I can mention is super important is elixirs. Oh boy, do you need them. Unfortunately, I ran out, so that's great. You can pick up ethers and elixirs, and you can also farm Lepa berries, so do that. Don't make the mistake I did. I have Lepa berries, so don't worry, I'll be fine. But yeah, this takes a lot of power points. Anyway, let's talk about Drake. Drake is a lot like Glacia, but probably less annoying because less freezing. Alright, so Drake, like with Phoebe, Shelgon likes to be a giant troll. So we go for Sandstorm. And then we want to hit with Toxic. And it uses Protect, which is annoying. I did reset a couple times because of this. This time I just decided, alright, we'll go with it. I want to conserve power points because, like I mentioned, forgot to bring max elixirs or get more of them. And yeah, Shelgon really can't do much to me. I would rather it use the Full Restore here, to be honest with you, because Shelgon sucks. So this worked out really well for me, to be honest with you. I go for Sandstorm again, get that chip damage in. Remember, in Generation 3, we do not get the special defense boost. I'm actually really excited to use Shuckle in Generation 4 because Rock Tomb, well, Rock Tomb's not a TM, but there's some really cool stuff Shuckle can do in Gen 4 that it can't do in Gen 3. But part of those limitations is what makes this challenge so difficult. Anyway, we knock out Shelgon. That was pretty easy. The scariest Pokemon is, of course, Kingdra. It's water type. But Kingdra just really wants to lower my accuracy as well as raise its stats. But don't you worry, it does go for Surf and it gets a crit, which is bad. But thankfully, this is what we have Dig for, and without a crit, it's not doing too much damage. Remember, Shelgon got the Full Restore. So even though I missed with Dig, and it is in healing range, that's bad. We should, I don't know if we're fine. I don't know if we're fine. What's next? Salamence. The Intimidate still works. It has Rock Slide. Ew, this is bad. Hopefully this hits. Please don't. Okay, there's the flinch. Oh, a miss. Oh, a miss. Oh, a miss. Hey, we hit. Take that. All right, we should be fine. 20 damage, well, it's effectively 10 damage. And we can try and whittle its health away. These citrus berries actually take it out of healing range a lot, which is really good for me. Yeah, no, we need to hit or it's going to heal. Yes! Oh, crit! That's even better. Doesn't matter. Okay, it would have been close. Altaria, we beat it before, but remember, we don't have Hidden Power Ice this time. So we're going to go for Toxic. Also remember, there is a full restore in play. Dragon Dance is, I think, scary. Yeah, it's scary with Aerial Ace. We don't want Dragon Dance, because eventually it'll do a lot of damage. Dragon Breath. Oh, no! No! This couldn't have gone worse. Well, it's healed, but we do hit with Toxic right away. So you know what? Honestly, I might be making much ado about nothing. We're using Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb's actually hitting pretty good. The Smoke Screen isn't as big a deal as I thought it would be. And I might want to use Sandstorm here. I don't know. Is it going to heal again? No, we're good. Okay, so the final Pokemon is Flygon. Flygon is one of my favorite Pokemon, but it can't... Oh, well, if it crits, it can do a lot of damage. I was going to say it can't do a lot. Unfortunately, we can't do a lot to Flygon either because it is immune to Dig and resists Rock Tomb, assuming we could hit. And yeah, could we hit? That would be nice. Oh, I think Poison... No! Okay, it's fine. It's fine. We're in Red Bar, but we've made it to the champion. At level 82. This is going to be fun. This is going to be easy. I mean, yes, we are a very poor attacking bug rock type facing off against a water trainer, but like, it's Shuckle. It'll be awful. This was awful. This is probably one of the worst champion battles I've had in a long time. And there's so many things to this battle that makes it just abysmal. Let's talk about it. The first Pokemon is Wailord, and Wailord is less annoying than you actually think it is. We're going to hit it with Toxic, and then there's actually Cheese. So, like with the Celios, Wailord is programmed to set up Rain. Water Spout, which it hit me with, it does more damage the more HP Wailord has. But if we keep setting up Sandstorm, and it's Toxic, then we don't need to worry about it ever using Water Spout. And by the time it runs out of Rain Dance, because Rain Dance actually has less power points than Sandstorm does, it's going to be so weak and Water Spout will do nothing. And there it is. It went for Blizzard. I forgot that it only had 5 power points, but that's okay. We're not at full HP, but we're pretty darn close. And Wailord is gone. Plus, one of the 4 full restores is gone. Ludicolo ends runs. So the double team isn't a big deal. That's nothing. Surf does a lot, but that's also not the big deal. Unfortunately, I can't show you why Ludicolo ends runs in this battle because it swaps out. And we get Gyarados. And Gyarados goes for Surf. And I'm not able to restore enough HP. I'm going to try to go for Dig, even though it won't do any damage, and Toxic. And I'm going to try to get rid of Gyarados, but no dice. But that isn't the issue. There are actually ways that I could have gotten a little luckier with Wailord, where we probably would have gotten past Gyarados. But Ludicolo's a different story. So this is the battle that happened. I had actually beaten Ludicolo times before this, but it's not important because I was never able to get past Gyarados. But there's no point even talking about that because as we fast forward through this battle, what's about to happen after full restore is we're about to get hit with Leech Seed and you can see the instant reset. This was the moment you can see me pause, look through my items, and I'm like, uh-oh, what do I do? I can teach Protect, and that can help instead of Rock Tomb. Try to stall out Gyarados, but I don't know how I'm going to deal with Leech Seed. And the truth of the matter is, I couldn't. That's not to say I didn't make any progress in the battle. I did. As long as Ludicolo doesn't use Leech Seed, we can beat it. And with Protect, in addition to Dig, slowly but surely we can keep enough HP that we can even get by Gyarados and be at pretty good HP for Milotic. But then Milotic comes out and it does way more damage than Gyarados did. And don't forget, there are 4 full restores. We were still able to get by Milotic, but that led me to Tentacruel. And Tentacruel, the only thing we really can do is Dig. And Tentacruel, in addition to Hydro Pump, it has Toxic. And without Rest, without like Earthquake, which I can use, but I haven't taught obviously, there is no way I can beat Tentacruel. If I get Toxic, it's over. And I only played it out because I knew we were done. I knew that I couldn't get past that Tentacruel. I was barely getting past Ludicolo. This took 30 minutes just to get past Ludicolo. But I used up all my elixirs and Lepa berries. Do I have to level up? Is that even going to make a difference? What do I do? What I decided to do, and I'm just showing you the Lepa berries, plant the EV reducing berries, go and redo my EVs so that they're a much more optimal spread, and get some Lepas, and then go back to the champion. The alternate option would be to get rare candies or to rely on rollout. And if this doesn't work, that's what we're going to have to do. And guess what? This didn't work. Now, I want to provide some context here. I'd been battling Wallace for over an hour at this point. And I did have some rare candies. Not enough to get me to level 100, but enough to get me to level 92. Because in trying to get the leftovers, my Lanoons, because I used rare candies on them too, did pick up a ton of rare candies. I used it on the Lanoons because I wanted other things that I didn't end up using, which I regret because I would have been level 100 here, which would have helped. And it looks like that is going to be necessary because we can fast forward through Wailord. We don't get any Leech Seed from Ludicolo. Against Gyarados, we're still able, and this time you can see I don't have Protect, I'm using Rock Tomb because it does knock out Gyarados quickly. And I also hope that Rock Tomb would provide more damage and more reliable damage versus Tentacruel, but I could not have been more wrong because it doesn't matter how reliable the damage is if it goes for Toxic immediately. But it missed, and then it goes for it again as I'm digging, and of course it misses. But is that what it's programmed to do? Just go for Toxic until I'm poisoned? Appears to be so. So it poisons me. And no matter what move I have, no matter what level I'm at, it actually doesn't matter. And we actually almost knock out the Tentacruel, but I realize, okay, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. And that's when I had to rely on rollout strats. Because the only way we're going to win is if we knock out both Tentacruel and the final Pokemon before Toxic can knock me out. Or preferably, Toxic misses and we knock out Tentacruel with a powerful rollout. I don't see another way to do this. However, I need a whole bunch of new strats if I'm going to get through the rest of the Elite Four. So, introducing my new strats. So, you can see we have Roll-Up. In addition to that, we have Substitute. And that means, hopefully, only one Sand Attack hits us. Additionally, even if we get critted, this is going to absorb a ton of crunches. It actually absorbs at least 3 or 4, because that was a crit plus 1. So, that's pretty good. And then we can try to use Rollout and knock out the Pokemon. That's essentially the strategy. Same thing as before, just adding in Substitute and then hoping Rollout does its job. It does hit twice versus Crawdont, and then it hits versus Absol. That was a 5th turn, by the way, which is crazy. 5 consecutive hits, even with the Sand Attack. And now we just have to deal with Shiftry. It's not as good to have Rollout versus Rock Tomb because it's weaker, but the strategy is still going to work. We even get seeded by Cacturn, but with some really good luck, we're able to hit him with Rollout. But realistically, the biggest reason this was able to happen is because of Substitute and only one Sand Attack, so Rollout's accuracy wasn't truly awful, and actually it's roughly the same as what Rock Tomb was. So I'm used to it. Pretty good. I don't really feel the need to go into the strategy for Phoebe. It isn't fundamentally different or anything. The one major difference, if you noticed, Curse can't hit through a Substitute. So Phoebe's actually just free. I mean, I can mess up, and Abysmal Luck could potentially lead me to getting hit by Curse, but realistically, it's a very easy battle and an easy first try victory. And we're able to move on to Glacia and Drake, who also were first try victories. We can, like, speed through them if AJ wants to, or you can take my word for it. I need to vamp a little bit so that, you know, the footage isn't like 500 times speed. But yeah, Rollout just makes the battles easier than they already were. And the increase in EV efficiency, EVs, by the way, are just stat points between 0 and 252. You can only get 510 of them, so you really have to be smart with how you invest them. And you just invest them by knocking out Pokemon that give EVs. You can look this up online. It's not normally something we have to deal with, but we're Shuckle, And so, yeah, we've beaten all the Elite Four. And now, I'm sure you're wondering, how is Wallace going to be? Awful. Still awful. Even though we have Substitute, if we don't time everything correctly, Ludicolo still has plenty of opportunities to hit us with Leech Seed. Also, Surf does a lot more damage to the Substitute than any of the other moves we've encountered. Even if you are to get past Ludicolo, and we did it here on really good health, we can try to get behind Substitute, and it can work if Gyarados cooperates, but the key thing is, we need Rollout to be timed properly. So it should be 3 hits on Gyarados, 1 hit on Milotic, and then 1 hit on Tentacruel. Unfortunately, a 4th turn Rollout doesn't knock out Milotic. That's a pretty massive issue because now we're pretty much in the exact same situation as before. So here's what needs to happen as I show you a battle. If we want Rollout to knock out Tentacruel, I think we need hits 2, 3, and 4 versus Milotic, or we need to be behind a Substitute. Either of those things is really, really, really difficult. It's really tough because there are just so many different things the opponent can do to us. And it's just so hard for me to make sure I'm behind a Substitute. Of course I want to be behind a Substitute. I just can't control what move they're going to use, and it's very hard to adjust because I need to be so careful with some of these Pokemon. So against Ludicolo, I'm behind a Substitute when it uses Leech Seed, which is really good. And unfortunately, it has like 3 HP remaining. But a 4th turn Rollout does knock it out, which is crazy. And that means a 5th turn Rollout knocks out Gyarados. So I'm behind a Substitute. Milotic, it knows Toxic? I had no idea, holy mackerel. So I know the Substitute's gonna break, so I went for Substitute. That's what I can try to do. I can try to be smart and cheeky and predict. And now I'm gonna go for Sandstorm. Uh-oh, crit. That's good. It's good I didn't go for Rollout. That's the scary thing. If I go for Rollout, I can't adjust. And there's a second crit. But we have the Substitute up, and we could get both the Substitute and the proper Rollout roll. We hit with turn 1, Citrus Berry, Poison. Oh, interesting. We have the Substitute up, and Hydro Pump. It didn't go for Toxic because I'm behind the Substitute, and it missed. And now, do we knock it out? Yes, I think we did it. I think we just won. I think that's it, guys. I think that's it. Amnesia? Oh, come on. Why couldn't that have hit? All right, we're going to go for Toxic. I think there's another full restore coming. I'll go for Substitute just in case, because that should make things a little safer. Surf, Rollout does nothing. Toxic, slowly taking away damage. Another Surf. I think it was worthwhile to use Substitute. I don't know. And now, is there a full restore? There is. That's bad. 3rd turn Rollout. Ooh, it's going to be close. Surf. 4th turn Rollout. Think we're good? Even if it crits? Yes! Yes! What a nice amount of health for a very nice conclusion to this run. Thank you for watching another feature-length movie of a Pokemon run. Hopefully Feebas and Platinum isn't this bad, but I have a feeling it will be. And I'll see you guys soon. Take care.